Here, just as they need them.
Mine's in my car.
Oh, let me check inside.
Sweetheart Yeah, we met.
Okay, we met, right.
You and Ogden.
Masks make people look old.
I know. It's weird.
You can use that excuse.
Hopefully they have a hammered dulcimer. That's kind of interesting.
It is, isn't that cool?
I love that.
Yeah, they had a Renaissance there years ago. And I was like, oh, how do you get one?
Then you have to play.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I don't think so. Don't want to stand in front of there, that's for sure. I'm sorry. We gotta get you on the Google Drive, I think. Because all those things, all those documents, everything you've written, we should have it. I mean, it should be.
Well, I gave Sydney all the stuff on my own map.
Oh boy.
Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go, me on my own. Me gotta go. My head bound, sweetest one, me on my own. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my share of meals. Ticky town, fruit jar, and potato. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. The Thibodeau's, the fountain knows the place is a buzzing. The kinfolk come to see Dave Humphreys by the dozen. Dressed in style, go hog wild, me on my own. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my share of meals. Picket tire, fill fruit jar, and potato. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my share of meals. Picket tire, fill fruit jar, and potato. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou.
I got back. Pretty well. Oh boy, what?
It's an old, I had a battery put in a while ago.
Yeah, okay, I can. Yeah, what year was it?
Well,
2090?
probably, no, it's
Yeah, let's do that.
Please help yourself to cookies. There's water over there. We're going to be starting in about 5-10 minutes. So you still got time. Right, not everything gets.
All right, we're gonna do a couple more tunes here. This next one is Ashokan Farewell, which is one of our favorites. And then we'll do a sing-along led by our guest of honor, maybe. I know he knows the words at the end. We are Trillium, by the way, as is on your notes. And Dave has been an important part of all our lives, or all of our working lives out here.
Congratulations. It's great to see you again.
Thank you for being here. This makes it really special.
Well, thank you for doing all you do.
Sing along with this, you all know the words. Except for John.
So this is This Land Is Your Land. You can sing along.
This land is your land, this land is mine. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for your king. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw a glory that in the skyway. I saw the glory, that golden valley. This land was made.
Everybody!
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for me.
I roamed and I rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me, a voice was singing, this land was made for you and me.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for me.
As the sun was shining, as I was strolling, and the leaf was waving,
I can't. Okay, good. I can't do this as well as Dave Humphreys, but weren't they wonderful? Trillium. And if you want more information on them, there's a card here, a little display here with information on them so that you can know where else they're performing and go to their website and find out where they will be throughout the year. I've learned something from you, Dave. Also, because there are still some empty seats and it will take them a few minutes to pack up, we will be starting shortly.
More time to get more water and more cookies.
No, I don't think I didn't need that head. Spending all that's why I deserve it.
It's okay that I said that about my words, right? It was okay that I said that about my because obviously I've been hearing that people are having trouble finding a place to park.
Of course, then they're, walking. Yeah, there's a few more coming. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
No, I'm taking this way for my parents. That'll be the best thing.
So these, they're not staying.
Oh, it's like a separate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you so much. That was perfect.
We've been at 2A Street many times. Dave ran by so many times. Please. Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's very crazy. And I feel like this middle school orchestra, grade school orchestra, I was hearing about this. And that was years in the 90s.
Yes, I'm thinking people are still trying to find a place to park.
Oh, wow. And they also have Marilyn Ludwig books there too.
Yes.
Which
Lots of her books.
yeah.
And a lot of my practice was searching for Juliet. Have you ever been to Quebec?
No. I went to Vancouver once.
Okay. Quebec, I went to Quebec and I read her book Searching for Juliet on the streets and I went to the street and I walked down and it's really a great story. She was the one out there in 2 6
Oh, that's good. By the way, I'm still reading that James Doran book. I didn't know anything about Lennox Lord, Major Lennox Lord. I didn't know who he was because nobody put his name on it. You know?
No, he's a very cute little big actor. He used to be doses over at the one in.
Oh, here comes Rich. Hooray!
Not St. James. No, not St. James.
No, there's a.
Oh, did you see him on Channel 5 News last night?
I feel like I remember reading about that.
Did you get your cookies?
Yeah.
For a TV star.
I know you guys get special cookies.
Did you get your cookies?
He also taught North High for many years. You know, but when I I saw that immediately another book about the letters in the shoebox.
Oh, yeah.
War letters that his family had.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing about that book that I kind of thought was
Good morning.
was
You're famous, I understand.
Yeah. Hey.
Channel 5.
It was a surprise interview.
It's marvelous.
Yeah, but he mentions the Museum of Science and History being funded a lot by Julius Rosenwald, but there's a typo which is Rosenberg. Yes. And I'm like Julius Alpha Rosenberg. You know, I'm like, that's not the same guy.
I know.
And I have a book about. I looked it up in a book. I have called The Jews of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, he's got to be,
Yeah.
but I couldn't find it.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I like to pass these on, you know. I've read them and I want to pass them. You seem to be very
Oh, I read
interested in all kinds of history,
Yeah.
so I want to check.
I'm big on reading.
Yeah, big, yeah. So I wanted to pass that on for you.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah, but the story about the Dunham Tower was really an eye-opener to me because I did not realize what their plans were.
Yeah, well, it's all empty. Like there was a big,
They wanted to build a whole community there, and it never really happened, unfortunately.
It's nice to have a big open space.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. This is giving maybe a few extra people some time to find a parking spot and walk here. So I appreciate your patience, and we'll get started shortly.
Don't worry about it.
Get all your ducks in a row.
Too much stuff.
Thank you for coming, everyone. My name is Liz Chalberg, and we'll get this party going. I'd like to thank you for all coming today to honor Dave Humphreys, who is our 2021 Montrew Dunham Award winner. Montrew Dunham, who passed away in 2017, was a noted author, teacher, historian, and community volunteer. She served on the Historical Society Board of Directors for many years, and many of you know her as co-author of our history book, Downers Grove, 1832 to 1982, and she wrote the sequel, Downers Grove Revisited. The Montrew Dunham Award was established in 2019 to honor her and those who, like Montrew, have made significant contributions to the village of Downers Grove through their volunteer activities, giving of their time and their talent, earning them a place in Downers Grove history. The Recognition Committee planned this event and the weather, so I would like to introduce them to you, starting with the chair, Bruce Swanson, in the blue, and Lois Sturba next to him, Joyce Tunia, who is running across the parking lot, Andy Kinsella, there, Deb Howard, Felicia Camacho, and myself. Not listed in the program today is board member Ian Ogden, who stepped in at the last minute. and agreed to do our videography today. So Ian, thank you. And the Historical Society would also like to thank the museum for allowing us to use this fabulous campus. Isn't it perfect today? And this is where Montrew spent a lot of her time. So I think she would appreciate, and she would have had a great time with the music too. Our first speaker is the Recreation Supervisor of Historical Programming here at the museum, Felicia Camacho. And where's Felicia? She is directing traffic. We will have her talk in a little bit. There's like 5 more people down there. Oh well. Okay, so in your program is a very detailed overview of the contributions to our community and on Dave Humphreys' many contributions and ongoing endeavors. I mean, he just keeps on going. He's like the Energizer Bunny to our community. And if you take some time and look at that, I think you will appreciate everything he has done. And honestly, Dave, when I read it, I kind of was a little worried that maybe you wouldn't have time to show up today. But I'm very glad you're here. I would like to introduce our first speaker, who is Downers Grove's Mayor, Bob Barnett.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for coming this morning. It's a beautiful day and a neat opportunity to celebrate a truly beautiful person. When I was given the opportunity to say a few words about Dave, I thought about all the things that have already been said or will be said later, things you can read about in your program. But I also thought those things are well known, and maybe it was time to just say thank you. It's good to remember the things Dave has done, but thanking him is just as important. Any community is the sum of its people. It's people who make or break a community. The tone, tenor, and attitude of the people of Downers Grove are what make Downers Grove the place we love. And Dave represents our very best. Passion and compassion. Caring and empathy. Perhaps most of all, kindness. Maya Angelou is quoted as saying, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." I'd suggest anyone who spent any time at all with Dave feels better for that time being spent. Many of you are probably familiar with the concept of servant leadership, but let me note a few points. Listening, persuasion, empathy, foresight, healing, stewardship, commitment to the growth of people, and building community. Dave is without a doubt both a servant and a leader of this community. So thank you all. Thank you for what you've done, Dave. Thank you for helping Downers grow. Thank you for being a living example of your faith. Thank you for your passion for music and service and peace and justice. Thank you for showing compassion, caring, and empathy to everyone you meet. Thank you for the kindness you display, always and to all. The community of Downers Grove is today, in no small part, a result of Dave's efforts. So congratulations on receiving the Dunham Award today. It will forever mark your deserved place in the history of Downers Grove. Thank you, Dave, for being an example to us all. Most of all, thank you for being you. Congratulations again, and best wishes from the village. We continue to add to Dave's awards and accolades, and every one of them is well earned. This is a proclamation we delivered at the Village Council this week, and Liz made a good point. We should read this again. Whereas Dave Humphreys is being presented with the Downers Grove Historical Society's Montrew Dunham Award for 2021, which was established in 2019 to honor those whose significant service and contributions to the village of Downers Grove have earned them a place in its history. And whereas Dave Humphreys is a lifelong resident of Downers Grove, having been born here and having made his home here for close to 8 decades. Whereas he attended Longfellow Grade School, Herrick Middle School, and Downers Grove, now North High School, which gave him a Distinguished Alumni Award in 2009. Whereas he has also earned hometown honors such as Citizen of the Year Award from the Chamber of Commerce in 1997, and whereas he serves as a trustee for the library, served as a past producer at Heritage Festival, and continues in that capacity for Rotary Grove Fest, is the Rotary Club Music Scholarship Program Administrator and Award Presenter for the Downers Grove Music Club Piano Festival and Competition. And whereas he has also served on many Downers Grove municipal committees, boards, and commissions, such as community events, TCD 1 and 2, economic development and tourism, performing arts center viability, and others. Whereas the two-way street folk music venue he established has enriched the music world and brought prestige to the village, while his humanitarian efforts have helped the mentally ill, promoted anti-racism and immigration justice, assisted food and housing insecure people, promoted LGBTQ rights, among other things. And whereas his accomplishments benefit not only Downers Grove but beyond, and are reflected in the awards he has received, such as the 1999 Studs Terkel Humanities Service Award from the Illinois Humanities Council. Now therefore I, Robert T. Barnett, Mayor of the Village of Downers Grove, do hereby proclaim the week of September 12th through the 18th as Dave Humphreys Week in the Village of Downers Grove. I encourage all members of the community I encourage all members of our community to congratulate and thank Dave Humphreys on his lifetime of service, contributions to musical, civic, and humanitarian causes, accomplishments and awards, as well as this one, the Downers Grove Historical Society's 2021 Montrew Dunham Award, dated this 14th day of September 2021, Downers Grove, Illinois.
Thank you very much, Bob. That was great. Next, Dave is a lifelong member of the First Congregational United Church of Christ, and our next speaker is Senior Pastor Scott Oberman.
Just go ahead and just crank that up. Oh, that's even better.
We'll do it this way. Thank you. Wanted to start by taking a moment to thank the Historical Society for their work to recognize that a place such as Downers Grove, a community, is only as strong as its people. It is remembered for its people and how they live in community with one another. This Montrew Dunham Historical Award is important, especially at a time of social distance and division, to remind us to highlight the values of courage and compassion, love of neighbor, no matter who that neighbor is, and working together to make the world a better place, and Downers Grove, the home and community we all cherish and love. Montrew was not just a great writer and historian, she was also a treasured friend. She would be proud of this award and the one that she knew receiving it as a brother in Christ in the church that they both attended. And not only the faith models they both shared, but she'd also, I think, want us to continue to strive to be a better community, to learn from our past and build upon our present for a better future for all Downers Grove residents. The theme of my small speech here today, and it will be small, I know sometimes pastors, people worry as soon as they get the microphone in their hand, is kind of, where's Dave? I asked it this morning, somebody else asked me, where's Dave? And sure enough, Dave was off underneath the tent talking to somebody. But throughout my experiences with Dave, I've often asked the question on a mission trip or with the youth, where's Dave? And nobody can find him. And then we look over and there's Dave underneath the viaduct talking to a bag lady pushing a grocery cart, intently listening, finding out who she is, sharing their common ground. Where's Dave on another youth trip? He's over at the park bench there. There's a young girl who's run away from her home, tatted up, pierced all over. And there's Dave, listening intently as she spills out her world to him. We go to South Africa on a mission trip with HIV/AIDS students. And the students are welcoming us into their group home, which is an orphanage. All of their parents have died. They're between the ages of 2 and 20, and they're playing the marimbas. In a few minutes after they play for about a half hour, we're getting ready to go do something in the hospice, and I say, where is Dave? And I'm looking all over, and then I see those teenage boys, all of them battling HIV/AIDS, and they're circled around, you guess who? Dave. And they're listening to him, and he is connecting with them. And they asked, along with others in the hospice, as we go in there, and we're visiting with the people, and I remember Dave coming to me afterwards saying, one of the greatest things was this man asked me, who I visited with, I forget his name, but I know Dave remembers, are you coming back tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be here again tomorrow. And then we sang in this space. Now I know that Dave helps with musical scholarships. I know he puts together and has worked with Two-Way Street. I'm not sure Dave would consider himself a singer. But all of us with open hearts, connecting in that room, was one of the most holy and sacred moments I've ever experienced. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But if you'll read in here, one of Dave's accomplishments is that he was a youth advisor to the church with the teens in the 70s. And a few years back, the youth group was looking for adult leaders, and I said, Dave, I think you would be great in working with the kids. He said, I haven't worked or been around young people for a long time. You sure you got the right guy? I think maybe you should get somebody else. And just a few glimpses into what that has looked like. Again, on a mission trip with kids, children, we're with students, again, orphans. And there's Dave with a 5-year-old South African boy reading him a story. And then the boy is reading back to him. And that picture is forever in my mind. And then a few moments later, I ask, where's Dave? The group's getting ready to go, and there's Dave on top of the slide. And all the kids are around him, Dave, Dave, Dave. And there goes Dave down the slide, and cheers. Liz described him, I think, as the Energizer Bunny. He's going to be 80 years old this year. He runs around, happy, yes. He says, I hope. Dave always says, I've been in this church all my life, at least up until this moment. I hope to be here a little longer. But another point that I wanted to make about Dave is something that Mayor Barnett brought up, is Dave has also been a champion for those who haven't had a voice or been on the margins. One of my favorite slogans Dave sometimes wears on a pin is, there's a saying in Scripture, the meek will inherit the earth. And Dave's got a button that says, the meek are coming. Whether it's been working with a coalition of Immokalee workers, marching down in Springfield for equal marital rights, for LGBTQ community, here in Downers Grove, when just recently students gathered around Black lives and the importance of all people in our community being valued. Dave has been right there. Where is Dave? Dave is where there are hurts in the world. Dave is there walking alongside people to remind them of their value and their dignity. And one of the greatest things I admire about Dave is Dave takes time with people. Yes, he's doing all these grandiose things with Grow Fest and setting up all the bands and 50 years with Two-Way Street and incredible things with the life of the church in this community and with the Rotary. And I've seen Dave and known him in all those capacities, but it's the one-on-one helping each person know that they are treasured of him, treasured of God, that they matter. And on his watch, they won't be forgotten. He is a brother in Christ. He's a beautiful human being. He is my friend, and I thank God for him. Thank you.
I'll just stand on my tiptoes.
Next person is just as tall. Next, we have Rotarian Mark Walus, here to talk about Dave's work with the Downers Grove Rotary. I don't need a microphone.
It's never easy to follow the pastor. I mean, how do you sum it up? I mean, well done, Scott. Thank you very much for those kind words. Those are absolutely well done. So, good morning, everybody. It's truly an honor to be here. Obviously, as we celebrate Dave Humphreys, the 2021 Montrew Dunham Award winner. My name is Mark Walus. I have been a resident of Downers Grove for the last 11 years with my wife, Nicole, our 2 daughters. And like many of you, I'm sure, you know, once you've been here for a while, you'll want to call this place home. You fall in love with it. And certainly we have as well. So after a time getting settled, after we had moved in, you know, we felt that calling. And I think for those of you who have been in community service before, you understand that it really truly is a calling. And you know, you get to meet a lot of absolutely fantastic people as you get yourself involved in community service organizations around Downers Grove. You're talking about like-minded individuals, people who genuinely care, you know, about the well-being of our community. And I first had the pleasure of meeting Dave in 2014 when I decided to join the Rotary Club with my wife. And at first, I didn't have much of an opinion of the man. You know, he was friendly, he was relatively quiet and unassuming, careful with his words, and he still is. Seemingly willing to withdraw from the spotlight in favor of those around him. We have some very gregarious members in our Rotary Club, and generally speaking, you know, we'll gladly take the stage. And Dave, you know, is a man who cares about this community, cares about it deeply, and that's reflected in our club. The people in our club have gigantic hearts, and that's not by accident. The club was founded 61 years ago by community leaders within Downers Grove, and the shape and the direction of our club and our present membership is a reflection of our heritage, of those generations of members who have come before us. We're aligned by a common set of values established and maintained by people like Dave Humphreys. And while this is not a commercial for Rotary, what I mean to say is that Rotary is a better club and Rotarians are better people because of the fact that we know Dave Humphreys and that Dave Humphreys is in our lives. Now, Dave could be described a lot of different ways, and undoubtedly he will be today. You know, I like to think of his kindness, his presence, and his empathy, his self-effacing approach, his will and his drive, and his altruism. But one of my favorite things about Dave is that he has found this amazing way to blend his natural character, his love for music, and his passion for philanthropy all together in such a rewarding way. At this point, I think we're all aware of Dave's love for music. He's the music guy, the MC on the mic at every Grove Fest and Heritage Fest, going back all the way to 1982, which was the year I was born. And there's such passion, you know, in the work that he does. And I've been told, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And have those words ever been truer than for anybody but Dave Humphreys? So 2 quick stories about this year's Distinguished Award winner, and then I'll leave you. So as Scott mentioned, you know, the Rotary Club distributes a number of different scholarships to the community. And generally those go to graduating seniors that live within the boundaries of the District 99 area. A lot of them are service scholarships, but we do have a music scholarship. It's the Charles Dickerman Award. And Charles Dickerman was a founding member of our club back in 1960. He was a lot of different things, an avid bagpiper. He worked at the Argonne National Labs. He's a physicist, right? Nuclear physicist. But after he passed away, there was an award established in his memory, commemorating, that sort of unique talent in somebody who emulates. We're looking for children that emulate that sort of musical prowess and want to take their musical careers forward. So every year we are raising money through GrowFest. But the scholarship itself is led and directed by yours truly, Mr. Humphreys here. He's our leader, our choreographer, and a committee of Rotarians, and even Charles Dickerman's widow, Barbara, are part of our committee, and we meet every year and we review scholarship applications. The graduates generally submit a video of an audition of them playing their instrument. It used to be live pre-COVID. And beyond that, we bring them in for interviews. So the experience has become somewhat profound. Dave, over the course of time, has had a chance to establish relationships with so many different people, and the band directors of these local high schools are amidst that group as well. So the caliber of candidates that we get year in and year out would blow your mind. There's an absolute direct correlation, between the strength of his relationships with those band directors and the number of quality applicants that we receive. These are young adults with futures in community or city orchestras if they so choose. They demonstrate both a passion and a technical brilliance for the instrument that they play. And that's when they hit you with the interview. They walk in and they obviously meet, they're very thoughtful. These are eloquent individuals. They are absolutely gifted, and they understand their gift, and they understand where they're going with their gift. And the event culminates with the selection of a winner. And Dave visits the high school, and in front of all their peers, sometimes a couple thousand kids, Dave is able to award this scholarship to that individual. The entire operation leaves Dave, the Rotarians involved, certainly Barbara, and the children themselves feeling better about themselves. And that's part of what Dave's power is. Dave helps to make that a thing. Even those that lose, right? There's a certain grace with which Dave is able to tell them, hey, you're not the award winner, but wow, you were really good. He makes everybody feel better about themselves. So one more story. Did anyone go to GrowFest this year? I know you three did. So a couple stories about this really quick. Dave had an impossible task. Back in March, we were forced to cancel the event, which is normally held in June, usually around Father's Day. And we knew that we needed the governor's permission, and we had to move to phase 5 with the COVID restrictions in order to be able to hold an outside event. Well, it wasn't until mid-June when phase 5 was actually achieved, and we started planning in earnest. This group of Rotarians committed itself to putting on a community event. We felt like the community needed it. So we turned to Dave with this impossible task. Dave, we need to sell beer to make money. Dave, we need good bands to bring people in to sell beer to. Dave, we don't know if we can pay anybody. Okay. Dave set to work. And I watched this man lay his reputation on the line again and again and again with various bands that, again, he has come to develop a relationship with, a rapport with. And what did those bands say when asked? Dave says, hey, we'd love to have you play GrowFest. We'd certainly love to have you on stage. We just don't know what we can pay you. And time again, and I saw the emails, this is no joke. Dave, the response came back almost the same every time. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You have been there for us. We love playing GrowFest. We love what you do. We'll figure it out. Now, musicians have to eat. They've got bills to pay, just like you and I. They don't do this for charity. But time and time again, that response came through. And what they were really saying was, we trust you, we believe in what you do, and we want to say thank you for the work that you've done and what your club has done for the community. There isn't a single other person in our club that would have been able to pull that off. And what do we have? We had an outstanding Grow Fest. It was a tremendous success. 4 nights, 11 great acts, and just a phenomenal pull-off. So Thursday night, you know, we're underway. We're all dripping sweat. It's been a long day of setting up, you know, and Dave has resumed his duties as MC for the 39th year. I'm counting. The band goes on after Dave introduces them, and Dave takes a step away from the stage, and he walks backwards towards the fencing along the sponsorship area, and he's just alone. He's just hanging out by himself, unassuming as usual. And you can just tell he's just got this smirk on his face. He doesn't know I'm watching him, but I am. So he's got this smirk on his face, and he's kind of bobbing his head to the music. You know, he's just leaning back against the fence. There's throngs of people out there. The strobe lights are blaring. The music sounds great. The sound is really working well. The stage looks wonderful. We're having a great time. And you can just see what Dave's thinking. We did it. We pulled it off. We had no idea if we would be able to do it, but it is a really good show. The product is phenomenal, and Dave helped to make it happen. In fact, it wouldn't have happened without Dave. I have to say that. So, and you could just tell that he's an unassuming guy. He's a humble guy. He doesn't want a lot of attention or effort, but you could just see there's this quiet pride in what he was able to accomplish this year. And the community really enjoyed a good festival. So in closing, this is where I'll get sappy. I have to take my notes, so otherwise I'll cry like a little baby. There you go. Yeah, I think it says a lot about the character of a man that 4 people from 4 different walks of life, you know, you get the church, the library, a community service organization, and the community itself will come up here and espouse about the values and, you know, what this man is able to do, his contributions to Downers Grove. 4 completely different stories. And there's probably 1,000 other stories that aren't going to be told today about who this man is and what he does. Dave, I'm proud to know you. My family continues to be inspired by you. We're a better club because Dave Humphreys is in it. We are a better community because Dave Humphreys is in it. I want to say thank you so much for everything you've done. And perhaps, as Scott mentioned, the best part is the story's still being written. So thank you and congratulations.
Is Felicia Camacho back from the... Felicia, would you come up, please? You missed your gig. You're directing traffic.
Yeah, waiting.
This is Felicia Camacho, supervisor here at the museum, and I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to the Downers Grove Museum and our Wanschneider Park. So as you can see, we do try to name a couple of our items after some of our people who have made great contributions both to the museum and to our community. So kind of this award kind of stemmed from that, and I will give the Historical Society credit. They went to our Park District Board, so the museum's actually owned by our Park District. So I work for the Park District because I am the currently only museum staff right now. I'm working on hiring people. And they actually originally, how kind of this award kind of came about was they wanted to donate a bench in memory of Montrew Dunham. And so they went up to that, and our Park District Board thought about it, because actually I didn't hear about this for a little bit later either. They were like, well, would that actually be the most fitting? You know, it's a bench in our parks, one of our parks. We're like, well, we have our building right here, which was previously named the Homestead Barn, which is ironic considering it was a reconstruction of a carriage house, not a barn. And decided, hey, we have this, it doesn't really have a name, even though our park does, Wanschneider Park, named after Pauline Wanschneider, our first curator. Why don't we, you know, name the building after her? And it was just something that we're like, oh yeah, you know, that makes sense. Why don't we name this building? And so, you know, and it came along with, okay, let's just showcase and see all of her contributions. And I think through that, the Historical Society decided, and we came together and we're like, well, if we have a building after her, she can't be the only one who's made contributions to our Downers Grove community. So why don't we see if we can use that and kind of go off of that in order to create an award that would, you know, kind of showcase other people in our community who have also made kind of significant contributions to our community, and have showcased and brought, you know, all those things that you kind of are behind the scenes, because, you know, she wrote books on our history. We would not be where we are without these books about it. And in some areas, as you've said already previously, some of our events and some of our way our community has grown would not be the way it is without kind of these contributors, without some of these people. So we wanted to have this setting and have an award, a yearly awards that would help honor these people. And so we're glad to welcome you guys here in order to kind of welcome our next contributor, our next award recipient into that family. So welcome, and thanks for coming.
And finally, well, not finally, actually, we have one more after that, but I would like to introduce Jen Ryjewski from the library, who is the assistant director for the Downers Grove Public Library, to give you a perspective on Dave's 27 years as a trustee with the library.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations, Dave. My name is Jen Ryjewski, and I'm the Assistant Director at the Downers Grove Public Library. I have known Dave through his dedicated service on the Board of Library Trustees for about 3 years now. And I have to tell you, when I first learned that he was going to be honored with the Montrew Dunham Award, I was like, finally, something in the universe that makes sense to me. I mean, I can connect these dots. Like, I get this. This is, like, wonderful. So, congratulations, Dave. Through library boarding alongside Dave, I have learned that when Dave speaks, people listen. Dave possesses a gentle yet assertive, a logical yet empathetic approach to discourse and problem solving that I have come to truly admire and appreciate. Whether we're discussing capital building improvements, the vulnerable and marginalized people in our community, the effect of the library budget on taxpayers, EDI work, compensation for staff, Dave is never at a loss for words and always brings a thoughtful, fair, and real-life perspective to issues facing the library and its community members. Dave is a voice of true reason and passion, and makes us all think a little harder and a little deeper about the things that really matter. We are so thankful for his near 30-year tenure on the library board, his continued willingness to share his gifts and passions with us as we endeavor to do our very best for the community. On behalf of the Board of Library Trustees, Dave, and all of your friends at the Downers Grove Public Library, we congratulate you on this award for being recognized for your unparalleled service and your significant contributions to the Downers Grove people and the community. Thank you. Another shirt.
And now Bruce Swanson, if you can get out of that picnic table. There you go. Bruce Swanson, our chair, will come up and make some presentations.
First of all, we have a plaque that is in Montrew Dunham. Do I need the mic or what? I could use my teacher voice either way. But anyway, we have this plaque in the Montrew Dunham Center that recognizes the winners every year. Gordon Goodman won in 219. Dr. Floyd Meisner won in 220. We'll talk about the winner in 221 in a little bit. But I want to talk to you for just a minute about the winners in 222, 223, 224, 225, and so on down the line. Notice there's some empty places. That's where you come in. We would like each of you to think in the future, who deserves this award in the future? Now, when you come up with an idea, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with our committee. Now, you may not get, there may be 10 people that people suggest, but we got lots of room, as you notice, for future time. So your suggestion may take place, maybe not next year, but the year after or the year after that. So each of you, I want you to think of somebody that deserves this award in the future. Now it's about time to talk to 221. I'm not going to go on and on about all of his achievements, but I would like to have Dave come up here and receive some awards. First of all, there's a big cookie. Now it says, David Humphreys, Downers Grove Music Man, 2021 Montrew Dunham Award. So hopefully he will have a little fun with that. Debbie Howard has put together a book on Dave Humphreys, all of his accomplishments, and that will be a treasure for him for many years to come. And make sure that you have a chance to see it. It's a masterpiece. One thing that we do have in common for all the winners is we give each winner a clock. And this one says the 221 Montrew Dunham Award presented to Dave Humphreys. Congratulations, Dave. You're up to bat.
Oh my.
Here, there you go.
I hate to take this mask off because I'm very proud of this mask. Last Tuesday night at the village council meeting, I received a wonderful proclamation from the mayor. Some of the people on his staff presented me with this mask. So, another wonderful thing. About all I can say up here is wow. But I knew I wouldn't be able to think once I got up here after this, so I wrote a few things down. As has been said by Scott, this award is very meaningful to me because it's the Montrew Dunham Award, and I knew her well for quite a few years, and she herself contributed so much to the history of Downers Grove that I'm just honored to receive this award named after her. I also want to thank all of the speakers, of course, who made such amazing statements about me and created this wonderful day. I'm truly honored by your kind words, and thank you so much. I want to thank the Downers Grove Historical Society, and especially Liz Chalberg and Joyce Tumia for their efforts in creating this day. Their attention to detail and their quest for accuracy was deeply appreciated. I never had a bio before. I have a bio. Finally, and I could list an awful lot of groups, but I just want to thank all of the staff and all the volunteers at the Village of Downers Grove, the First Congregational Church, the Downers Grove Library, the Community Kitchen, the Rotary Club of Downers Grove, the Two-Way Street Coffee House, Equality Downers Grove, DuPage United, and so many other organizations that have really led to this celebration today. It really isn't just about me. It's about them. It's about you. This is what makes Downers Grove so wonderful. This celebration is not the end of anything. It's a celebration of opportunity. I'm often quoted by saying that, remember that without volunteers, a lot of very important work would not be done. But to paraphrase Monty Python, I'm not done yet. You're not done yet. We are not done yet. Thank you, Downers Grove.
Today, just grab another cookie, please, and stay around for a little while and talk to each other. You've got time. We don't have to be out of here till noon, so just go right ahead and enjoy yourself. Sometimes you haven't maybe had a chance to see each other in the last couple of years as much as you'd like, so enjoy. Take care.
I'm not done yet.